Have you ever found yourself trying to figure out how much fencing you need for a new garden? Or maybe how much ribbon you need to wrap a present? Well, the answer to both of those questions comes down to one simple but really powerful idea: perimeter. So for the next few minutes, we're going to break it all down and show you just how useful it is.
Okay, let's just imagine this for a second. You are ready to plant a brand new garden. You've got the seeds, you've got the soil, but you know you need a fence to protect it from all those hungry critters. So the big question is, how much fencing material do you actually need to buy? That right there is a classic perimeter problem, and it's exactly what we're going to get good at today. So let's start with the absolute basics. What is perimeter? The easiest way to think about it is as a journey, a complete trip all the way around the outside of something. Okay, so the official definition is that perimeter is the total distance around a 2D shape. Now, it is so easy to get this mixed up with area, which is the space inside the shape. But here's the best way I've found to remember it. The perimeter is the fence, and the area is the garden itself. Today, we are all about the fence. This is a perfect way to visualize it. Just imagine you're a tiny person starting at one corner of this square. You walk all the way along one edge, then the next, and the final one until you're right back where you started. That total distance you just walked, that is the perimeter. All right, let's put this into practice with a real shape. We're going to start with the square because it has this one special quality that makes finding its perimeter super, super easy. So take a look at this square. Now, the most important thing to remember about any square is that all four of its sides are the exact same length. In this case, each side is 2 centimeters long. Okay, let's take that walk we were talking about. We start with the first side, that's 2 centimeters. We add the second side, now we're at 4. Add the third, that gets us to 6. And when we add that final side, we're back home with a grand total of 8 centimeters. But you know what? There is a much, much faster way to do this. Because all 4 sides of a square are equal, you can just take the length of one side and multiply it by 4. So 2 times 4, that gives us 8. The same exact answer, but with way less work. That's a great shortcut to remember. So, now that we've got the hang of squares, let's level up just a little bit with a slightly different challenge: the rectangle. It's really similar, but there's one key twist. And here it is, the big difference. With a square, all the sides are equal, but with a rectangle, only the opposite sides are equal. And that means our little multiply by 4 trick isn't gonna work here. We need a new game plan. Let's check out this example. We've got a length of 3 centimeters and a width of 2 centimeters. But don't forget, that means there's another 3 centimeter side opposite the first one and another 2 centimeter side across from the other. So to find the perimeter, we can first add up the 2 long sides. 3 plus 3 is 6. Then we add up the 2 short sides. 2 plus 2 is 4. And finally, we just add those 2 numbers together. 6 plus 4 gives us a total perimeter of 10 centimeters. Easy enough, right? And just like with the square, rectangles have their own handy shortcut. All you have to do is add the length and the width together, and then multiply that number by 2. So for example, 3 plus 2 is 5, and 5 times 2 is 10. Boom, done. This formula saves you a ton of time. And you know, this basic idea of just adding up all the sides, that works for pretty much any shape with straight sides, from triangles all the way up to weird-looking polygons. All right, so you've learned how to find the perimeter. But now, let's flip the script. What happens if you already know the total perimeter, but you're missing the length of one of the sides? This is where you really start to think like a problem solver. Okay, so check this out. We have a new kind of problem here. We're told that the total perimeter of this square is 20 centimeters. So the question is, how long is each individual side? To figure this out, we just have to work backwards. We know the perimeter is just the sum of 4 sides that are all equal, right? So to find the length of just one of those sides, we can just divide the total perimeter by 4. So 20 divided by 4 gives us our answer, 5 centimeters per side. See? Not so bad. Now let's bring all of this back into the real world, because this isn't just about numbers on a page, right? This is about solving actual problems that you might really run into. Let's take a look at this real-world example. Sandy uses 28 meters of fencing for her garden, and we know her garden is a square. So to find out how long each side is, we can use that exact same working backwards method we just learned.
Since it's a square, we just take the total amount of fencing, 28 meters, and divide it by the 4 equal sides. And 28 divided by 4 is 7, so each side of Sandy's garden has to be 7 meters long. Okay, let's try a tougher one. This time, it's a rectangle. Your neighbor is super nice and gives you 24 meters of fencing. You've already decided you want your garden to be 10 meters long. So here's the puzzle. How wide can you possibly make it with the fencing you've got left? Let's break this one down step by step. First, you have 24 meters of fence in total. You know the two long sides are 10 meters each, so that's 10 plus 10. That's 20 meters of fencing used up right there. So what's left? 24 minus 20 leaves you with just 4 meters of fence. And that 4 meters has to cover both of the two short sides. So you just divide it by 2, and that means your garden can be 2 meters wide.
All right, one final challenge to really put your new perimeter skills to the test. A rectangle has a width of 5 centimeters, and its total perimeter is 16 centimeters. So, what is its length? Go ahead and pause for a second, see if you can figure it out.
Did you get 3 centimeters? If you did, awesome. Here's how we solve it. You know the two wood sides are 5 centimeters each, so that's a total of 10. You subtract that 10 from the total perimeter of 16, and you've got 6 centimeters left over. That 6 has to be split between the two length sides, so you divide it by 2, and you get 3 centimeters. So you see, perimeter is so much more than just a word in a math book. It's a really practical tool for measuring and making sense of the world all around you, from picture frames to entire backyards. You've just learned the language of boundaries and spaces. So what will you measure first?